it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how to structure a powerful presentation? We should always remember that the presentation should create some kind of value. Otherwise, the audience would not be interested to listen to you. The audience would not be able to create any kind of connection, and the audience will not at all be interested to listen to you. So your presentation must create value. Your content, the way you present it, you should take care of all these things. Now, regarding the delivery of the presentation. So first of all, if you want to grab the attention of the audience, you have to make some kind of connection with the audience. You cannot just directly start the presentation. At first, you have to greet the audience and introduce yourself. Okay, you have to greet the audience. That means you have to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, and then you have to give a brief introduction about yourself. You have to give your brief introduction. You have to tell your name, and you also have to mention the name of the topic. Okay, in that way, the audience will come to know about you and also your topic. So, do not ever forget to greet the audience and introduce yourself. Do not forget to introduce yourself. Okay, this is the first point. So these are the basic points, okay, to deliver a good presentation, to deliver a powerful presentation. Next is your introduction. So introduction is a very important part of any presentation. So your introduction must be very powerful. Okay, when you introduce the topic, okay, the audience will decide whether they should listen to you or they should not listen to you. So you should always structure a powerful introduction. Uh, you should always introduce in a very good way so that the audience want to listen to you. Okay, so introduction is a very important part of the presentation. The things that you add there in this part, and also the way you tell it to your audience, the way you deliver it also matters a lot. So that's why you have to take care of the introduction, and accordingly you have to continue. Okay, next is your vision. Okay, every presentation has a vision. Okay, has some or the other kind of vision. Okay, so you should always start your presentation with that vision, with the ideal vision. Okay, you have a topic and you are going to deliver a presentation on that particular topic. So now your presentation has a vision, isn't it? You have to begin your presentation with that. You must be able to describe your vision properly in a beautiful manner so that the audience understand understand what your presentation is all about, and so that the audience can understand the vision of the presentation, and so that the audience also finds your presentation interesting. That is why you need to always start your presentation with your vision, with the vision of delivering the presentation. Okay, next is the body of your talk. Okay, now there are generally three parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So introduction and vision, we can categorize it we can keep it in one category. Then the next is the body of your talk. That means the details that you're going to provide. Okay, now the details that you have added, you are going to explain those details, isn't it? Explain those things to your audience. So now it's not like when you're delivering the presentation, you are going to talk about the things that you have included in your on your slides, isn't it? So when you make your PPT, when you make your PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, when you make your PPT, you must take care of these things. So that's why I had repeatedly told you that I have been repeatedly telling you that you need to do a little bit of research, and then you have to add the details according to the topic. Okay, now when you deliver, you should not read it. I had already mentioned that you're not supposed to read your presentation, you're not supposed to mug up your presentation. You should explain it to your audience. You should try to explain it to your audience. You should just mention the point, and you should add the point on your slide, and then the rest of the things you just need to explain it to your audience. If you read it, then definitely the audience will not be interested to listen to you, and if you mug up, then also the audience will come to know that you have memorized it. Okay, so you need to explain it. You need to explain it, the way you interact with people, the way you communicate with people, the way you explain certain thing to someone, you need to do it in the same way. Okay, now you can deliver your presentation in a very good manner if you practice. Okay, if you practice, so then you will definitely be able to deliver it in a very good way. But do not memorize, do not mug up things, because once you forget a sentence or a word, you will not be able to continue. Okay, so the body of your talk is basically the details that you add after your introduction. Okay, the details related to the topic. Next, if you want to persuade the people, if you want to convince the people, you must remember that you must be able to grab their attention. If you want to persuade or convince the audience, and if the audience is not at all interested to listen to you, then you will not be able to convince the people. So that's why if you want to convince the people, you must be able to grab their attention. Next, conclusion. Okay, now once you have explained all the things, once you have delivered your speech, okay, once you have finished everything, do not forget to summarize it. Conclusion is basically the summary of the whole presentation. You have to summarize the whole presentation, and also uh, share your views or opinion. Also, you must share your view or opinion. Okay, so that is basically the conclusion of your presentation. It should not be too long. Okay, it should be of 3-4 lines. You must not add a lot of things in this part. It should not be more than like 5 lines. Okay, it should be in between 5 lines. And when you explain it to your audience, you must not take a lot of time. Okay, you must try to summarize it uh, as quickly as possible, but that doesn't mean that you'll finish it in 10 seconds. Okay, you need to summarize it in a good way, so that the audience can understand what you are trying to explain them, or so that the audience can understand what you are trying to say. Okay, summary is something that will help the audience to remember that will help the audience to remember the things that you have told them, that you have explained to them. Okay, now they cannot, your audience, the people cannot remember each and everything. Okay, they will remember only certain things, and summary is one of the major part of it. So when you summarize it, and when you give a share your own opinion, uh, then the audience will definitely remember that. So you have to beautifully summarize it. After that, do not forget to thank the audience and invite questions. Okay, now if you are delivering a presentation and you know that your audience is going to ask you certain questions, then you can invite questions. And if you know that uh, your audience is not going to ask any kind of questions, then you can just thank the audience and just get out of the stage after that. But if you know that uh, there will be a question answer round, then you can invite the question. Generally, after a presentation, you have to go through a question answer round as well, because the audience will ask you certain questions and you have to answer to all those questions. So generally, that's the basic system. But if you know that there won't be any question answer round, then you can just thank and end your presentation. Okay, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day. So you can end it in this way. And if you are inviting questions, then that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening to me. Now I would request you to ask me uh, whatever question you have. So you have to invite questions in this manner. Okay. So it's the basic way of delivering a presentation, how to start, how to continue, and how to end your presentation. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, one more question. Ma'am, if the audience is not at all interested in our presentation, then in that period of time, what we can do to grab their attraction, to
Now
get their
see,
attraction?
there are suppose 50 people in front of you. Now it's like you cannot grab the attention of each and every individual. Okay, some people will be interested to listen to you, some people will not be interested to listen to you. Now you cannot concentrate on them, you cannot totally concentrate on that particular thing. Okay, that whether the audience is or whether the people are listening to me or not, whether they are understanding or not, you can try your best. Okay, you can give your best, but you cannot uh, like go and beg, isn't it, that please listen to me. Now if you find that no one is listening to you, now that means maybe your presentation is too boring, or they are not being able to uh, understand it or make a connection. Okay, in that case you can like try to grab their attention by making your conversation or your presentation, a bit interesting. Okay, so like you can invite questions in that case. Okay, you can invite questions. I hope all of you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So you can use this kind of lines as well. Okay, I hope all of you are being able to understand what I'm trying to explain. So you can also use this kind of lines. Okay, now it depends on the situation. It totally depends where and in front of whom you are delivering the presentation. Now, for example, if you are delivering a presentation before in front of your teachers, and um, your teachers are going to give you marks on the basis of your presentation. Now in that case, you cannot ask your teachers, are you understanding or are you not understanding? No, you cannot do that particular thing. Okay, if it's an exam. Is it clear? Now if you are delivering a presentation, for example, to your juniors, okay, to your juniors, in that case you can try to make it a bit interesting. Okay, you can try to talk about things that will humorous things. Okay, humorous things. You cannot make your whole presentation a funny one, but when you see that people are losing interest, then you can try to make it a little humorous. Okay, in that case. But if you are kind of delivering a presentation in front of your teachers, then you cannot do that. You have to stick to your uh, content, strictly to your content, to the and you have to carry on with your uh, presentation. Okay, so it depends upon your audience, it depends upon the situation, and accordingly you have to act. Okay, now in general, if you see that the audience is losing interest, then maybe your content is not at all interesting. So when you uh, add the details, okay, try to make it a bit interesting, and your slide should not have a lot of things on it. Okay, your slide should not have a lot of things included, because in that way it becomes very boring. Okay, because the audience will not be interested to go through each and every line, the audience will not read everything. So if you write 2 lines, the audience will be able to read it. But if you write 10 lines instead of 2 lines, and nobody is going to read those 10 lines, isn't it? So you can make your the PPT interesting. You can make your PPT attractive, good. Okay, so that the audience can read it. Okay, so that the audience can read and understand it. And when you are delivering the presentation, at that time, do not be repetitive, do not mug up, make a connection, try to make a connection with the audience. How will you be able to make a connection with the audience? Maintain eye contact, your body language must be good, and there must be your facial expression should be good. You should not look tense, nervous, you should not look scared. Okay, so in that way you'll definitely be able to grab the attention of the audience. But do not expect everyone to listen to you. Okay, there will be some people who are not going to listen to you, and you're not supposed to concentrate on that particular thing, that these people are not listening to me, and you should not be offended. Okay, there will be people who will listen to you, and there will be some people who will not listen to you. Now if you concentrate on that particular thing, then you will not be able to deliver an effective presentation. But regarding the delivery of the presentation, I had told you all earlier too, that uh, you need to be aware of the audience. You need to be aware of the need of the audience. Okay, if you are not aware of the audience, of their need, then the audience will not be interested to listen to you. Okay, so I had also mentioned this particular thing, judging the need of the audience. Okay, that's why it is very important to judge the need of the audience, because one single way of presentation cannot suit all the types of people, all the types of audience. So that's why our each and every presentation, or the way we deliver it, should be different according to the taste and preferences of the audience, the taste, profession, age of the audience. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? So two important things you must remember when you deliver a presentation, that is the way you greet and introduce. Okay, so greeting and introduction is a very important part of your this presentation. You must be able to give a good introduction, you must be able to express you must be able to share the ideal vision of the presentation. Okay, then only the audience will be able to understand. If the audience cannot understand your topic, okay, then the audience will definitely not be interested to listen to you. So that's why this 3 points, you have to take care of these 3 points: greeting, introduction, and your vision. Okay, and the vision of the presentation. You must be able to give a good introduction, you must be able to mm, start your presentation with that ideal vision of the presentation. Once the audience understands the topic, then the audience will definitely be interested to listen to you. Okay, so that's why the introduction is a very important part of the presentation. Okay, now next is the body. So the details, you need to explain the points and everything, so do not make it a kind of very a long one, very a boring one. Do not repeat things, do not make it repetitive. Okay, try to be specific, try to talk about logical and relevant things, then the people will be interested to listen to you. And if you are talking about a particular topic where you need to persuade the audience, okay, where you need to persuade the people, so in that case too you must be able to uh, explain it to your audience properly. You, if you cannot explain it to your audience properly, then the audience will not find it logical. Okay, so that's why you must be able to, your explanation should be good. Do not mug up, do not memorize, do not just like read the things. You must be able to explain it to the audience properly. Okay, then the audience will definitely be interested to listen to you. And I said that two things are important. Definitely the body is also important, that all of us know that, but introduction and conclusion are very important part of uh, any kind of speech or any presentation. Okay, so you must be able to introduce properly, and your conclusion should be very strong, because you are summarizing everything, isn't it, and you're giving and you're sharing your opinion. So the summary is something that the people will remember. The people will not remember each and every point. The people will forget most of the things, 90% of the things the people will forget. But what they are going to remember is your conclusion, your summary. Okay, so that's why summarize your speech, summarize your presentation in a beautiful manner, and do not forget to thank the audience. That's a good that's a good manner. Okay, so I have seen a lot of people, out of nervousness, stress, they often forget to thank the audience. But do not do that. Okay, thank the audience after you summarize your speech or your presentation. Thank the audience for listening to you, and then after that you can invite the questions. Okay, after that you can let the audience ask you questions. Okay, do not forget to thank the audience. Thank you so much everyone for listening to me. So, and no, this particular sentence is sufficient. Thank you so much. Or you can just say, if you're too, if you do not find any other word, you can say that, thank you so much. Okay? You can just, but do not ever forget to say thank you. Do not forget to thank the audience. And again, I would like to repeat regarding inviting questions. Now, if you know that the audience will be questioning you, the people will be questioning you, then you can definitely invite the questions. And if you know that they are not going to ask you anything, then you just have to deliver your presentation, and then you can just leave the stage. So then you can just thank and leave. But if you know that there will be a question answer round after that, then after thanking the audience, you can invite the questions. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear,
Yes,
student?
ma'am.
Any more doubts?
Ma'am, if the audience doesn't
Hmm.
get satisfaction with the answer, then what we can do
Now,
that
see,
time?
you have to be frank enough that you don't have all the answers. Okay. If somebody has asked you a question and you do not have the answer of the question, okay, now accept it that you don't know. You cannot drag the whole thing, isn't it? So that's why if you do not know something, then you can say sorry. I don't know about this. So you